All right, so we have the April sales numbers here, and I think that what you're actually going to see here is going to be a little bit surprising as to how the Utah real estate market is actually moving. What's going on, you guys? It's Cody Steck, your Utah realtor. We're back with another video today. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about how Utah and Salt Lake City specifically are readjusting to opening back up. You know, we've been in an economic and business shutdown. Everybody's been stuffed away in their houses, it seems like, for the last couple of months, and things are just starting to open back up. So as of May 1st, the restrictions here have been loosened, but a lot of businesses and different offices and jobs pushed that date until May 4th, which is today, the day of filming. And that's exactly what I want to talk about here today, is how people are adjusting to everything kind of opening back up. Now, things aren't completely opened up here, but they have loosened a lot of the restrictions that were in place. And I think from my personal opinion, what I'm seeing out there is people are itching to get back out and do stuff. People are itching to go to restaurants, to go out and eat, to go out and do different activities, you know, go climbing indoors or go to different events that are happening. People want to do this. They want to spend time outdoors, especially because it's getting so nice right now. People want to enjoy the weather and they want to get out of their house and get out and do something. So I think that even though we're still kind of in this situation, we still need to take precautions as to, you know, how to protect ourselves. We can definitely do that. You know, wash your hands more often, be careful not to get around, you know, large groups of people, you know, and it doesn't hurt to do that. You know, avoid the large groups and take the extra precautions that you need to make sure that you remain safe. So like I said, I've noticed that over the last even week, maybe even 2 weeks, there's been an increase in the number of cars out on the road. There's been an increase in traffic, and all around, I just see more people out and about on a day-to-day basis. I think this is good for us here locally, and I think it's going to help us get back to a sense of normal life and help people readjust to, you know, how things work, because it's kind of easy to forget what it was actually like, you know, just even a couple of months ago. So I think this is going to be really helpful. A lot of people want to get out and enjoy the spring weather, but most importantly here on the channel, because I'm talking about people moving here to Salt Lake City and the surrounding areas, I want to talk a little bit about what the real estate market is doing and how it's going to affect you if you're thinking about making a move here. You want to stay up to date on this information, you know, so that you can make the best decisions when moving here. You know, whether you want to buy right away, maybe you want to rent for a couple of months, or maybe even want to rent for a year before you make that move. It's up to you, but this information is going to be helpful for you. And so I want to get you some accurate information, especially now that the April numbers are out. This is going to be really telling for you. So the information that I'm about to share with you here is going to be super helpful in helping you decide how you want to make that move here to Salt Lake City. But before I talk about that, I do want to point out a couple of things. If you're thinking about making a move here, make sure to get in touch with me. My information's here on the screen. As always, call me, text me, email me, get a hold of me any way that you need to so we can have a chat about the type of home and lifestyle that you're looking to have when you make your move here. I want you to also know that I cover everywhere here along the Wasatch Front. Everything from Ogden all the way down to Spanish Fork. I cover Tooele County, I cover Summit County, which is where Park City's at, and I cover everything in between. So no matter where you're moving, when you're making your move here, I can help you get that done. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I post new videos about what it's like to live here, and you want to stay up to date on anything that I do release. And last but not least, give me a thumbs up here on this video if you liked this content. It helps me know what type of content you like to see here on the channel. All right, enough about that. Let's get into the stats. All right, so we have the April sales numbers here, and I think that what you're actually going to see here is going to be a little bit surprising as to how the Utah real estate market is actually moving. Now, the thing that I want you to keep in mind is that this doesn't tell us everything that we need to know. Real estate is a long cycle. The things that we're seeing in the numbers here does not indicate what's going to happen in the market or even what is happening right now or in the very near future, right? Real estate sales typically on average can take anywhere from a couple of weeks up to maybe 45 days, maybe even 2 months on the very long end for those sales to close. So what we're seeing in the stats here is not always going to paint the full picture as to what will happen 3 months down the road or 6 months down the road. Especially in the situation that we're in, there could be a lot of changes coming based on how things grow with unemployment, or if we go into a potential recession or anything like that. These numbers will change, but so far they're actually looking pretty dang good. I think that depending on where you're coming from, if you're coming from, you know, California or the West Coast or even back east on the East Coast, you're going to see some changes here that you're probably not seeing in your own market. All right, so looking at this information, there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you first. We're looking at information for all of the Wasatch Front. This includes Weber County, Davis County, Salt Lake County, and Utah County. This information here is going to be very telling as to how our market is moving overall. Now, the first thing that I want to point out here is the number of sales that have actually happened. So this is information here from March of 2019 and April 2019. You can see in these months that this is where things really start to pick up. In March of last year, we had just over 3,000 sales. And in April, we had just under 3,500 sales. If you look at the information from this year, March of 2020, we had just under 3,000 sales, so almost equivalent. But in April, we were down. We were down to 2,600 sales. That's almost 800 less sales than we saw in April of last year. That's over 24% less sales than we normally see during this month. But just because sales are down, that doesn't give us the full picture of what's happening in the market. The other thing that I want to look at here is in April of 2019, we had homes selling for roughly $320,000, and that was 98% of the sales price to the original listing price, meaning that the homes were listed for a little bit more and they sold for 98% of that on average. Now, if you look at April of this year, you can see that sales, the actual prices are up to $345,000, which is a slight increase from March. So just up $1,000 overall across the board. And you can see here that on this median S to OL, that is the sales price to original listing price. You can see that in April of 2020, it's at 100%. This means that on average, homes have sold at the actual listing price that they're listed for on the MLS. Now, of course, that means that there's going to be some homes that sell for less. There's going to be some homes that sell for more, if they get multiple offers. But on average, 100%, that's pretty rare, especially given the times that we're currently in. That's pretty crazy. Now, the last thing that I want you to look at here in March and April of 2019, this last column here, you can see that median CDOM, that's cumulative days on market. How long was the property on the market before it got an offer, went under contract, and then actually sold? So in March, you were at 25 days last year. April, 17 days last year. If you look at this year, March, we were at 17 days. April, just 10 days on market. That's absolutely crazy. What I'm seeing from this information here is that, yes, sales prices haven't really moved. They haven't gone down. They've ticked up just slightly, but I think that's pretty expected considering we're moving into the spring months, and that's been the trajectory of the market that we've already seen. The other thing that I want to point out here is that the number of sales are down. Of course, there's less people who want to sell, less people who want to buy, but that's not affecting the prices. In fact, seeing that the days on market is so low compared to what it normally is, that actually indicates to me that there's still a lot of buyer demand. There's still a lot of people moving into the state. There's still a lot of people moving out of apartments or moving out of mom and dad's house or whatever it may be, and they're looking to buy homes. So days on market is down, prices are about flat, and that indicates that there's a lot of buyers in the market. There's just not as many sellers as we normally see. So with all that being said, guys, I think that we have a pretty good indicator here that the job market in Utah is strong, the economy is strong, the housing market is strong, and overall, we're going to be pretty well insulated from any potential recession that may come. Now, I know that the story is different in parts of California or Washington, even Florida or back east in the Northeast. There's a lot of different things happening in those markets, but here in Utah, we're looking pretty solid, and I think that we're going to probably stay mostly flat through the summer. We might not get that spring rush until later in the summer or even the fall that we normally see, but I think that as we come out of this situation that we're in, sales are going to remain strong, prices will remain strong, and if you're thinking about making a move here, potentially you might want to still look at buying a home. If you're making that move here, there's a fairly good chance, in my opinion, that prices are going to go up. Yes, they could drop. Yes, I'm not saying that I have a crystal ball and know where they'll go in the next couple of months. I think that we probably will see a little bit of a correction, but in the long run, Utah is definitely a safe place to invest in and definitely a safe place to buy a home at. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Make sure to get in touch with me if you're thinking about making that move here. Call me, text me, email me. I love it when you guys reach out, and I'd love to hear from you as well. Give me a thumbs up here in the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.